This week on Ace on the House.
We're all relatively good-looking, able-bodied white guys.
Yeah.
Let's get a band going where we talk about being strong, being white, and being empowered, and being a dude. And don't let the sack hold you back.
Yeah,
that'll
that's
be the
it.
name of that'll
Tuck
be our
the sack
song.
back.
Tuck
Yeah.
the sack. Don't let the sack hold you back. Just because we're white dudes
Come on,
doesn't mean we
ladies.
can't achieve. And we try to
Yeah.
tell all the other white dudes in their middle age
Yeah.
over there that they can do whatever they want.
Whatever.
And if someone tries to tell them no, they don't listen.
You know
man.
what? You're winners. You know that you're winners,
Everyone's
people.
a winner, and don't let your old lady slow you down.
No.
And don't let the man.
No,
wait
man,
a
not
minute.
going to keep me down.
Don't let the woman
Yeah.
or the black man tell you can't, because you can.
Check out an all-new episode of Ace on the House this Saturday, or visit aceonthehouse.com, only on the Ace Broadcasting Network. You're listening to the Ace Broadcasting Network.
Alison Rosen is your new best friend. Alison, with her the good times never end. Alison Rosen, doing the wavy pencil dance again. Alison's your new best friend.
Hey everyone, hi, hello, it's me, Alison Rosen, your new best friend, and welcome to Alison Rosen is your new best friend. Today is going to be a stupendous episode, and I feel like I announced that at the beginning of every episode, and thus far I have not disappointed myself. My guest today is Lila Lillien, who you might better know as Hungry Girl. She's a New York Times best-selling author, a number of books have been bestsellers on the New York Times list, and she hosts a show on the Cooking Channel, Food Network's Cooking Channel, right?
Cooking Channel, and they also aired on Food Network.
Okay.
Season 1 was on Cooking Channel, Season 2 was on Food Network, and now they air on both.
Awesome. And she sends out a hugely popular daily email list.
A daily email, yep.
Blast. Okay. And now you call yourself a foodologist, yes?
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, I don't like walk around saying, hey, I'm a foodologist. What are you? But I did. I mean, I jokingly called myself a foodologist back in 2004, and it's because I'm obsessed with food. I'm not a doctor or a dietitian or a registered dietitian or anything food-related, nothing medical. So I was like, well, what am I? I'm a foodie. I'm a foodologist because I'm obsessed with food.
Okay. And the name Hungry Girl, where'd that come from?
You know, a lot of people ask me that, and it just popped into my brain one day. And because I couldn't get it out of my head, that's why I launched Hungry Girl. Because I'm truly an idea person. I always have. I will have literally 10 ideas a day. And I'm like, I should do this. I should do that. And I was working for Warner Brothers at the time. But when the name just went into my head, I couldn't get it out. And I said, I have to launch this.
What I love, and I want to get to the fact that you worked at Warner Brothers because I want to find out how you went from being, you were an executive, right, to a foodologist. But first I have to blow some smoke up your butt. What I love about you and about all your ideas and everything you put out is that, like someone like me, I've been dieting, seriously, it feels like my whole life. Like I went on my first diet when I was the summer between 5th grade and 6th grade. Like it's really just
Me
been
too.
really
Same thing.
Constant. It was a calorie restriction. Well, that's always what I do. But and it's a long story, like all the peaks and valleys of me and food and my weight and everything. But I feel like I know everything about dieting. You could mention a food and I can tell you the calories in it. I know all the tricks. So if someone's just going to come out and be like, yeah, you should just use applesauce instead of this, I'm like, I could tell you that in my sleep, but I learn all sorts of things from you because you come up with such creative and inventive ways to put ingredients together, things that I wouldn't think of. Like whenever I look at one of your recipes, I always think it seems like a professional chef or molecular gastronomist put this together.
Well, I mean, the funny thing is that I use a lot of products that you find in the supermarket or that you already have in the fridge or in your pantry because I am not really a chef. That's another thing. Like the fact that I have so many best-selling cookbooks is crazy. The fact that I'm gonna give you some backstory here.
Yes, please.
When I got married, my mother-in-law said to my now husband, "Lisa is great. The only thing wrong with her is that she can't cook." That will give you an idea of, and the next thing you know, I had never really even cooked dinner for my husband, and there's extra at my house, shooting me in the kitchen. So it just goes to show you that the stuff that I do is simple. It's just about food assembly. I was always good at tasting something, wanting to replicate that taste, and seeing products and knowing what would make the food taste like a high-calorie food.
What was the first thing that you replicated? Gary, can you put the time on? What was the first thing that you... We're very loose around here. Sometimes I just say things to Gary that have nothing to do with the show. Nice shirt.
Thank you. Yeah,
That shirt is gorgeous.
That's twice in the last 4 episodes. I'm really bad. In my defense, it is up there, just stopped at 0.
Right. It's imparting so much information.
I don't see it.
Oh,
No,
it's
anyway.
Okay.
I can't see it. You hide it from the guests. I understand. It's okay. So the first thing I ever made, this is a good question. This is so funny. I made a twice-baked potato. And this was like years ago when I lived in New York. I was like, oh, I want to have a baked potato, and I want to make it taste really good. And so I put like a slice of fat-free cheese in it and a little bit of light butter and some other stuff. And like I took it out and I mashed it and I put it back and then I baked it. And I was like, wow. And then I added up how many calories I saved. And I was like, that was pretty good. But that was a bazillion years ago. I think the biggest like aha moment was when I discovered those tofu shirataki noodles.
Yes.
That was amazing.
How did you find them?
I found them. That was also a funny story. I was like affiliated with a local. This was after I launched Hungry Girl.
Okay.
And there was like a local store right here in Sherman Oaks. It was like a diety type store. And I walked in there and they were interested in Hungry Girl and said, could you pick some products that we can say are Hungry Girl approved right on the shelves? And we can put them online too. And I said, sure. And they had sent me a link to look at their page that had all the products that I picked. And on that page were these bizarre-looking noodles. And I went back to the store and I said, I don't know what these noodles are, but take them off the page immediately. They're frightening.
And they smell like farts.
And well, I've never seen them
you
or
hadn't
touched
smelled
them.
yet.
So he's like, you'll love these noodles. Try them. Take them home. So I took them home. I did not sniff them. Like I didn't immediately
Caught to them.
Yeah, I just rinsed them and followed the directions and immediately threw like a wedge of Laughing Cow cheese on them and was like, oh my God, this is 80-calorie fettuccine Alfredo.
Wow.
So they are made of tofu and yam flour. They're found at traditional Japanese markets, but now more mainstream supermarkets carry them. They have 40 calories a bag, and they're a great pasta swap. Don't sniff them.
Well, there's something, and I wanted to ask if you have this too, where when I taste them, I'm like, I become distrustful of the calorie count. I'm not saying that's a false calorie count, but there are certain things where it's like it just tastes like it's too satisfying for it to truly be this low calorie.
I agree with you. And those actually have been taken to a lab.
Oh my gosh, that
Sometimes
actually
I
makes
take
me feel
things to a
better.
lab. You know, totally safe. There are things that I've personally taken to a lab a lot. I'm like a crazy person. In fact, why I started all of this was one day I was eating these pastries from this place in Montrose. I shouldn't name it, but whatever. I won't, but people can find it because they specialize in low-calorie pastries. And I just
Low-cal Montrose Pastries and
Shop
Brothers?
Incorporated. So I was like, I don't know if I believe this. I had lost a whole bunch of weight. And I said, they taste too good to be true. And I took them to a lab that was like an hour and a half away and spent about $700 of my own money. And they had twice as many calories as they were supposed to.
Did you go then back to Montrose Low-Cal Pastry Shop and Brothers Incorporated and tell them?
No. I feel terrible. I just launched Hungry Girl. I said,
okay. Well, that was a better thing. You
I think
reach
it was
more
a better
people
thing.
that way.
But I stopped eating them.
Yeah.
I miss them.
Now, what about
good.
in supermarkets? Do you believe the posted calorie counts?
Well, for the most part, I do. But here's the thing, and I've taken things to a lab time and time again. There are a few things that we can talk about. One, the FDA allows food companies to be 20% off. So if
20%?
something, yeah, that's a lot.
That's a
right?
lot.
I agree. So if they say something has 100 calories, there's a chance it has 80 or 120.
Wow.
So always think about that. But I have found that anything that comes to you from a large corporation, whether it's like a Kraft or Nabisco, General Mills, those are pretty darn accurate.
Mm-hmm.
And then all the stuff that comes from the mom and pop companies, you know,
Those are the ones I always wonder about. They're like the supernatural type
Right,
something or where it's like it
exactly.
tastes too good to be 83 calories.
Right,
And
it's like a
83 's
tremendous cookie, and they say it's some bizarre number of like 83 calories, 0.75 grams of fat.
Right.
Those I have found to be grossly misleading and off.
The other thing that trips me up sometimes is knowing that like if a serving is under 5 calories, then they can say it's 0, right?
Exactly, yes.
Is that what it is, under 5?
Under 5.
Okay.
So like a packet of Splenda or a packet of Equal, they say it's 0-calorie sweetener, it's 4 calories.
Yeah.
So that's misleading. Same with all those like
the butter sprays, which are actually a great. I know you use them a lot, and they're a
Yes.
great ingredient. But if you tear through a bottle, like that's
right.
a lot.
I know women who like open the top and pour it all over their broccoli, which, by the way, doesn't taste good when you eat that much of it.
No,
But
I'm
that
not so sure
bottle
about
has
that.
like, but the
I'm not so
bottle
sure it
has
tastes
like,
bad.
I can't remember now. I don't want
I
to
think it's
misquote it, but it's like
900 or
900,
something.
right?
Yeah.
It's something like 900 calories.
And then there's this, what is it called? It's some kind, it's called foam. Have you tried that?
Yes. Wait, the cappuccino foam?
Yes. What do you think of that?
I liked it.
It's really sweet. I mean, that's something, I like
they
sweetness,
they make
though.
sweet and then they make unsweetened too.
Okay.
I think
They do.
But
It's
I like
like
it.
it's a whipped dairy topping.
I like
that-
it because I pretend it's whipped cream, and I love whipped cream.
Oh, see, I do too, but that's like a thing where I will eat too much of it.
Right, like I could eat a whole can of fat-free Ready Whip.
Yeah. Oh, that's only 200
Easily.
calories. See?
Right, I know, but it could be how much? 240.
Oh,
you
yeah,
never know.
that's true.
I've done that.
Yeah.
I've been there.
Wait, so what are there things that you have trouble controlling yourself around?
Yeah, and this is what I was going to say. When you started talking about dieting, I think the key to success is not finding like being on a diet or finding a diet plan that you can stick with and really follow strictly. It's about avoiding your trigger foods forever and ever and ever.
What if all foods are your trigger foods? I'm just kidding.
I don't believe you.
No,
But
yeah.
it's true. I mean, for me, I could live on bread and
Yes, for me it's carbs.
yeah, I can chips. A bag of chips, if it's 2 servings or 22 servings, I could eat the whole thing.
Right.
And I don't go near them. I don't eat sandwiches. I don't really eat bread. I have to now for my job taste all the recipes and develop a lot of recipes and work with flatbreads and tortillas. But
Right.
in my real life, I don't eat them very often.
So like
But they're good for others.
In your real life kitchen, do you not have bread and buns and all those things?
I keep those things in the freezer and I use them sparingly. And I do have them every once in a while. I
Right.
really truly live by the 80-20 rule, and 80% of the time I'm avoiding things that I should be avoiding, and then 20% I'm playing around. Like I love Mastro's, the restaurant. They have pretzel bread. That's
Yes.
just to die for.
I feel like at Mastro's, the bread basket alone could just be dinner. And maybe should be.
100%.
Yeah.
The pretzel bread especially.
Yes.
The pretzel bread is amazing. I was there last weekend, and as the guy came up with the bread, somebody at the table said, "Go ahead and take that back and just bring us a full basket of pretzel bread."
That's what we do. Was it me? No, but I do that, and then I just stare at it and make everyone at the table eat it. I'm really not. It's not great because it's like I am who I am, but at the same time, I'm like, you eat that. I don't want to eat it.
Oh yeah, no, I do. I'm
do the same
trying to
thing?
fatten up my boyfriend because we were at Whole Foods the other day, and they had samples of the tiny little pieces of pizza. So I took a bite, and then I usually I'll take a sample of a sample or whatever, and then give him the rest.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, I still, again, you have to not. I don't believe it's a great idea to avoid everything and be really militant about what you eat all the time. I feel like you just have to find that balance.
Right.
So that's what I try to do.
Now, do you feel, because you are known as Hungry Girl, do you feel, and especially now with a television show, do you feel pressure to look a certain way?
I feel pressure to, I just like for me to keep my weight within 5 pounds. I let myself go up and down 5 pounds, and that's pretty much it. But I do feel the pressure is more like, are people watching what I'm eating? Whenever I go out for dinner, they're like, I'm going to order after she orders, or I don't want to eat this in front of you. You're hungry, girl. And
Right.
that's I don't love that. That's one thing I wish I could change, because if I go out to eat, chances are you'll see me grabbing a piece of pretzel bread or sticking a fork into a creme brulee or something every now and then.
That's a fork because you can't pick up as much, or
Okay, a fork into a pie. Jeez.
well, no. I thought maybe this was some
It
trick.
was not a strategy. I don't eat
I thought. I mean, hey, I'll care.
Yes, I recommend eating lobster bisque with a fork.
See,
That's my
just smart.
strategy.
Well, I used to be I used to write about music, and my friends would every now and then people would say to me that they didn't want to tell me what kind of music they listened to because they assumed I was judging them, and that couldn't have been further from the truth. So
Yeah,
I
same
can
thing.
relate to the whole people thinking that you must be judging them even though you're not.
Yeah, I remember the first time I was recognized, it was a couple of years ago, and I was at an Italian restaurant, and I happened to have ordered a grilled chicken salad with dressing on the side. It could not have been more Hungry Girl approved and Hungry Girl friendly. And she walked up to the table and she was like, "Wow, look, you really do practice what you preach." And I was like, yes. I so easily could have been just doing something awful, but
Right.
I wasn't.
Do you get recognized a lot?
In New York more than LA. I think in LA everybody is way famous. And I like to, recognize people, but people don't, for the most part, don't know who I am here.
Right. Well, and also a lot of the, if you search Hungry Girl, I think the cartoon version of you will come up before an actual picture of you.
That is true.
So tell me how you went from you worked in media and in TV specifically, right?
I worked in TV. I worked for Nickelodeon for many years, and then Warner Brothers, and I was producing online back then. It was like right when online was emerging, and I was executive producing Nick at Night and TV Land Online. Then I moved out to LA and was working for Nickelodeon, and then moved over to Warner Brothers, was producing online, and then dabbled in some TV production, and then I think it was when we had this like corporate evaluation where they have this like corporate therapist who comes in. And
oh, geez. I've only seen that.
Have you heard about that?
I've never, yes, but I think I've heard about it as a plot device in TV shows. I don't think I didn't realize they actually do this.
Some companies do this, and it was like a series of interviews with people I reported to and people who reported to me. And this guy said, well, everybody said you should be more entrepreneurial and not to push you out because I think your boss would be upset, but why don't you have your own business? And I said, because I always talk myself into and out of ideas all the time. And I don't know. And then it was like a week after that Hungry Girl just popped into my head and I couldn't get it out.
Wow.
Yep.
And what were you doing, at Warner Brothers?
At Warner Brothers, I was VP of New Media. And so I was overseeing all the web properties for a lot of the daytime shows. And it was before reality was like everything. We had just launched The Bachelor, and I think Ellen and Rosie were on the air, and Sharon Osbourne. So I was overseeing all the web production for all of those shows.
Did you enjoy that?
I did. It was fun. It was fun. I liked it.
Do you feel like your experience doing all that helped you with the business part of Hungry Girl? Because you definitely had a web presence for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, the web stuff, I feel like to this day I'm like really great at understanding how people use the web and what's good about certain websites and navigation and how much time, energy, and effort you should spend building X, Y, or Z. I did spend a lot of time analyzing a lot of these portals that big companies were spending millions of dollars to build.
Right.
And I thought, well, they're going to lose a lot of money. And boy, isn't gesundheit.com, the allergy portal, a really bad idea?
Because no one knows how to spell it.
Well, A, and B, how many people, I mean, do you really need a whole entire huge community about allergies?
Right.
I don't know. So
No.
I saw a lot of that, and that's why I thought, well, if I launch Hungry Girl, it's with a small amount of content every day for a large number of people. It would be cheap and easy, and to start it as an email would be better so people could share the information instead of having to remember to go to a website. So it would just come to you instead of you going to the website.
And then how did the television show come about?
Many, many, many years later. Like I started Hungry Girl in 2004 and then did that, and the books came in 2008. They started. And then the TV show started, I think we started shooting it in 2010. So that was way, way late. I used to be petrified of TV back in the early days.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, what I was going to ask was having a TV show always part of the plan?
You know, I always thought about it, but it wasn't necessarily part of the plan because I was afraid to go down that road. I thought, well, what if it's not what I want it to be? What if the brand's not established yet? I'm always like, I'm overly cautious about everything and pretty strategic. So I thought about it. I always thought books would definitely be part of the plan, though.
Right. And which was the first book you did? Was that?
It was Hungry Girl, Recipes and Survival Strategies for Guilt-Free Eating in the Real World. It's a mouthful. It's the green one.
Okay. And then was 200 Under 200 the next one?
That was the next one.
Okay. Though they're in order right here. And then Chew the Right Thing?
Yeah, well, that's a recipe card set that I brought for you.
Oh, cool. Oh, yes, I know. There's this. You brought me a bag of gifts that I'm so excited about. And I was going to open it up and look at it on air, but then I got antsy. Not antsy. I got, what's the word?
Excited? Happy?
Oh my God, it's a very obvious word. It's an obvious
word.
Hungry? Impatient. Distracted, yes. Impatient. And I peeked in before, but I'm still going to look at the rest of it on air. And then Hungry Girl 1, 2, 3
was the next
easiest, most delicious, guilt-free recipes on the planet. Then Hungry Girl Happy Hour.
Yeah, that's in there too. That's
Yes,
a good one.
There we go.
Cocktails.
Oh, thank you. And then 300 Under 300. which is 300 recipes under 300 calories. But then I read that you're not going to do a 400 under 400.
No.
Because it's just too much.
Jumped right to 1,000 under 1,000.
It's like an encyclopedia.
No, but the next book, it's called Hungry Girl to the Max, and it has 650 recipes. And that'll be out in the fall. It's huge. You're going to need like a friend to pick it up. Gary's going to have to help you carry it.
So what, I feel like you probably get this question sometimes, but what do you eat in a given day, let's say?
I'm pretty boring. Actually, when I'm home, if I travel, it definitely changes, but I will always start my day with like eggs in a mug, which it's like a signature Hungry Girl thing. It's like egg beaters in a bowl or a mug with Laughing Cow cheese. And I eat a full cup of egg beaters with like one wedge of Laughing Cow. And I have fruit. I have an apple every day, usually a banana. I eat a lot of salad. I eat a lot of grilled chicken, and I eat sushi like 5 times a week. So I'm kind of boring with my regular eating. But at the same time, we're always in recipe development. So when I'm at work, sometimes I'll just taste recipes, and instead of having lunch, I will have tasted like 7 recipes.
How does recipe development work?
It's really kind of fun and interesting. I mean, now I have a whole staff of people who help me, and we brainstorm a lot and develop things, and it's a lot of trial and error, and it's amazing.
Is there ever like biting into something and being like, oh, puh, and then spitting it out? Does it ever really miss the mark?
Not with the recipe development, but definitely with the foods that are sent. You know, a lot of people send me things to taste and possibly review.
Right.
Because that's how it all started. I was just reviewing other people's products, and there are definitely things that I have spit out. Or I'll taste it and say, this tastes like a foot. This tastes like a Band-Aid. This tastes like a candle. You know, like a lot of things just taste disgusting. And I'm like, literally, my favorite meeting was when I sat down with a bunch of executives. They wanted to work with me on a beverage, developing a beverage. And I sat at the table and tasted it. And it was the most horrendous thing I had ever tasted. And I just looked at
foot, Band-Aid? What was it?
Inexplicably disgusting. It wasn't even, a foot would taste better. I looked at the guys across the table and I said, I don't mean to be disrespectful. Do any of you at this table like the way this tastes? And they were like, no. I'm like, and I wonder, like, sometimes we get pitched products that are like just really disgusting.
Right.
And I'm like, does anybody taste the stuff?
Yes, it's sort of like when you see something awful on TV and you're like, did anyone watch this before
Right. Did
they
anyone
put it on?
watch it? Didn't anyone give notes?
I know.
So that's also why I think Hungry Girl is successful, because I think I have pretty good taste buds, and if I say something tastes good, people tend to trust that because it does taste good.
Is there anything that you have an aversion to?
You mean in general? Like
Food-wise.
I mean, no, not really. I mean, there are things I like more than others, but a lot of the foods I used to hate as a child, I like now. I like olives. I used to hate them. I used to hate mustard. I love it. I don't love celery, but I don't hate it.
Right.
It's okay.
Okay, so, and now this is me just using you as my own personal source of information. With sushi, that's one where I never know, is this as locale as I think it is or as I want it to be? What's your take on going out to sushi if you're trying to watch it?
I feel like it's the same advice that I give people in general. When you look at something, you know. So if you get Dynamite and you see it's all creamy and mayo-y, you know that's not a good choice. If something is loaded with rice, not the best choice. If it's got a lot of oil, not the best choice. So with sushi, I tend to stick with sashimi, or I get the nigiri pieces, but I either get light rice or you even eat half the rice, even when I order it with light rice. Because think about it, you're getting a little, a half-ounce piece of tuna.
Right.
If that, maybe a quarter ounce on a little bit of rice. And that's very low in calories. So sushi can be a great option. Tsunamono salad is great. Miso soup is great. You just have to watch out for like the crunch this or the tempura and the Dynamite and all the stuff
the mayo-y, crunchy, fried bit. Maybe not fried, but so
well,
no tempura is fried.
Tempura is fried.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I had seared ono recently, and it tasted so good and so rich. That it made me wonder, I don't know if they're searing it in some kind of oil. I feel like whatever the flavor was, it was more than just the fish on the rice.
It might have had oil.
But anyway,
I love sushi.
I know.
It's the best.
I do too. Oh, yes. You on Facebook, you post about watching movies on the treadmill, yes?
Yes. But these days, it's really bad reality TV.
Oh, what shows are you watching?
I'm addicted to everything this season.
Okay.
American Idol, The Voice, Fashion Star. All of the above. And I watch Smash, too. They're all really, they're things that I would never watch unless I was on the treadmill.
Will you
For
only
whatever
watch
reason.
if you're on the treadmill?
That's the only time I really watch TV, except before we go to sleep. My husband and I watch Pawn Stars.
So you have a treadmill in your home.
Yes,
And how often do you work out?
every day, every morning, and sometimes twice a day, because I want to catch up on the TV shows.
For how long?
Usually at least an hour a day.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes,
Wow.
if I can, I could do a second hour, but I don't run. I just walk.
Mm-hmm.
I can't run.
Knees?
Do you run?
No.
I
Hell
just can't.
no.
I can't. I would die.
Oh no, I tried. I'll be on the treadmill and I'll be walking. I'll make it, so fast that I'm having trouble keeping up walking, and then I'll think maybe I'll jog a little, and then I'll do that, and I'll do that for I don't know how long, not very long, and I definitely could not keep up a conversation with a person next to me, like all the women's magazines say you're
Right.
supposed to while
Jog.
jogging, and then I'll it'll begin I'll be breathing so hard that my throat will start hurting, and then I'll stop, and that whole thing will have been really, I probably fewer than 5 minutes or something, and then I'll think if I can just make myself do it more often, eventually I'll be one of these people who can run long distances, or those people that get on the treadmill and set it for 45 minutes and run the whole time. I'm just not one of them. I just can't do it.
I feel like I've tried to run, and I do the same thing that you do, and I think the most I've ever run for is like 3 minutes. I just can't do it, and then I would not work out. So
Right.
rather than set myself up for failure, I'd rather just say, okay, this is what I do.
Now, why can't we though? Is it because of our hips? I want to say yes.
I don't
like
know.
like bone structure or something. Because I feel like runners
Are really
have
super
a different. Well, it's a. And by the way, I didn't mean to say that was not a comment about your hips. It was more
No,
just
no, I
us
know.
as runners, And I think that it's like that endomorph, exomorph, something other. Like the way.
I have really
your
short
pelvis
legs.
is. I don't know.
Maybe that has something to do with it.
Yeah,
My legs are
I'm gonna
like
go with that as well
the
for me.
legs of a ferret.
Speaking of woodland creatures, you have a pet rabbit, yes?
Yes, I have bunnies and a cat.
And your rabbit, why? I've seen your rabbit maybe in
well,
videos or.
Yeah, Cookie was our bunny. She lived for
Oh.
10 years, and she
Oh,
passed away in
that's a
2010.
good lifespan for a rabbit. I'm
Amazing. She
sorry
was like
for
our
your
child.
loss.
That's thank you. She was the best. She was amazing, and now we have Cupcake.
Okay.
She's very cute. as
What
well.
kind of rabbit?
My husband calls her not as good as Cookie. That's her
Aw.
nickname. I know that's mean. No, she's great too.
Mm-hmm.
She's white with like orange apricot ears. Bunnies are like, I always thought bunny people were strange, but bunnies are cool.
I had a rabbit in college named Elliot,
That's so
but then
cute.
we learned that Elliot was a she. So then my friend tried to start Shelliot,
What
but it
about
didn't
Ellie?
work. Ellie, though that would have been cute. But I
Go
just
back.
I now went back with Elliot.
Go-
I tried to toilet train him.
Oh yeah, they're easy to litter box train.
Did you do that with your rabbits?
We
'Cause
have-
it didn't work for me.
Cupcake can, yeah, but she lives in a big bunny mansion. Like we don't let her run around the house because we have too much stuff, and she would chew up the
Right.
wires. And
Right.
Stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
My rabbit ate the 4 button on my remote control.
So you couldn't watch NBC?
Yeah,
Is that what
exactly. It was
happened?
awful. And that's one of my favorite channels.
No Apprentice for you. Oh, I'm watching Celebrity Apprentice too.
Oh, you
Are
are
you watching that?
Well, once Adam got kicked off, I didn't stay with it that much, but I do occasionally see it. Who's
Wow,
still
that was-
on? Although that's gonna, who's still on?
Teresa still on, and Arsenio and Clay Aiken, and it's interesting. There's a lot of fighting. Lisa Lampanelli is still on.
Yes.
There's a lot of like, whoa.
Do you have any idea who you think's gonna win?
I don't know. Oh, what's her name? Aubrey O'Day is like the one that everybody hates this year. She's out of
nuts.
control.
She's nuts.
She is. She's pretty smart, but she's not nearly as smart as she thinks
she is? Right.
And she is a little like, I don't know. Did you see when Arsenio skewered her like 2 weeks ago?
I did, and let me clarify. I don't think she's not smart. There's a difference between smart and nuts.
Oh, you think she's just nuts?
She's just crazy. I think she's crazy. But
She's self-absorbed. I'll give her
yeah.
that.
She's like one of these super reality show people who's famous for reality. Well,
For
I guess
reality.
Teresa's kind of like that.
There's
too,
a lot of
but-
people like that.
Yeah.
I think in a couple weeks you might get to hear producer Gary's voice on that show.
Oh, really? Okay, so Gary went to New York while Adam was there doing Apprentice. Did you go there specifically to record podcasts while he was there?
Yeah, I was there to produce a podcast, and ironically, the thing that may make it into the show happened after I got back when Adam. So Adam came back from New York after he was done with Apprentice, and then subsequently went back to film one final, series of things for the end of the show. And in that course of time, he needed some of us from this company, Ace Broadcasting, to do some stuff for the...
I love how cagey you're trying to be.
This is awful. I've said stuff 7 times in the last sentence, but basically he needed us to help him with a task, and in the course of it, he called me, and apparently they recorded that, and they were just telling me that they just hit me up for a clearance, and they're telling me it's going to be in
That's
one
so
of
cool.
the episodes. Yeah, I'm kind of excited.
I'll yell at the TV and say, "Yay, Gary!
Yay, Gary!"
Well, so who's gonna win? Is it Clay Aiken? I don't think so.
I actually don't know.
Penn Jillette?
I don't know. I mean, Adam must know, but I haven't asked him because I feel like it would put both of us in an awkward position.
He's not allowed to tell you.
No, I know, which is why I'm not going to ask.
And then if you told on him, he could get in a lot of trouble.
I know.
Don't ask.
Gary's turned away. Makes
Gary
me wonder.
knows.
Gary knows. Gary
Oh my
knows.
God, he knows.
He knows.
Gary, turn around.
Do you
You're
know?
a bad liar. Is it Clay Aiken?
I'm a bad liar. That's true. I'm a bad liar.
You
very
know,
bad
don't
liar.
you?
I don't know.
He does. He's lying. I can tell.
I do not know.
Why are
I do
your
not
eyebrows
know.
twitching?
I know. I know
Why are you turning red?
to a certain number of people who it
Sweating.
could be.
Okay. By the way, I didn't think Debbie Gibson deserved to go. Did you?
Oh, I agree with that.
She should have stayed.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the fact that Debbie Gibson in person, I think, is hotter than she looks on TV.
That's true.
Do you know her? Have you seen her in person?
You know what? I used to edit teen magazines like back when I was like
Oh, you did?
20.
What ones did you
I
edit?
made, like Tutti Frutti and like all these weird magazines.
I don't even know that one, and I actually went through a
It
teen
was small.
magazine phase.
It was
a couple years
very
ago.
small
Not really.
publication.
Bop, big bopper.
Yeah, like that, like
Hold on.
those.
Hold on a second. Please tell me you went through a phase where you were reading teen magazines a couple years ago.
As opposed to what? Being in them?
I thought you were writing for them.
Oh,
but-
no. But I wasn't a couple years ago. It was when I was like 13 and 14. I was just making a joke. I did write for 17 magazine, but I don't consider that a teen magazine.
I wrote for 17 as
You
well.
did?
Through Hungry Girl, I did. Yeah, and that's not a teen magazine.
Right.
It's not like Bop or
No.
J14 or Twist or
Yeah.
any of those.
Do
Now,
they still make those? They must still make those.
They do, and I look at them now because my husband has created like all the shows on Nickelodeon, like iCarly, and he did Drake and Josh and Zoe 101 and Victorious, and they're all over those magazines. So I look at them and I'm like, wow.
That's
you
cool.
know,
So your
Demi
husband is
Lovato
still
loves
at...
cannolis. That's exciting.
I feel like I still have I still have a poem that Alyssa Milano wrote a million years ago stuck in my head because it was printed. I wish I could remember it now, though. But I can't.
Did you have her exercise video?
No.
Teen Steam?
No. No, back then I would just do Jane Fonda because my
Gotcha.
parents had that. How was Teen Steam?
It was funny. It was okay. I don't know how many calories you'd burn.
Right.
But I agree. Debbie Gibson does look good. She looks better in person. She does, and she's really thin. She's very in shape.
She's just a very petite little person.
Yeah.
So your husband works at Nickelodeon.
Yeah, he has produced a ton of shows for them. So
And is that where you guys met?
we were both there. I was in New York. He was producing out here, so we met through a friend, but it wasn't through work necessarily.
And because before the show you said that you can talk about anything,
Yes.
then I am going to ask you a few relationship questions.
Excellent.
Sorry, I'm. You know what? I have to just let them know. I have to let them know. There's a little note from Gary on the screen for me, which is, my phone's not. Yeah, I keep hearing that. Oh, you know what? Maybe it's this computer here. So basically, there's a sound that we're all hearing in here.
It is that computer. I didn't even think of that.
Should I just close it?
Push it closed.
Is this Bob Bryan's computer?
It is.
Why is he fucking up my show?
You know what? You should take that up with him.
Throw the computer on the floor.
I'm going to.
Just throw it.
Take that, Baldy, and leaving your thing with your what are the majigamafa. You know what? It's probably someone playing like Words with Friends.
All right,
Probably
so
draw
bring it
something.
full circle because we figured out what it was in the middle. So for everyone who's been listening, that email ping you've been hearing once every 12
was
minutes.
Bob Bryan.
See,
There
I
you
didn't
go.
even hear it over here.
Oh, you didn't?
Maybe I have hearing problems. I don't know.
No, I'm just hypersensitive and listen for
Well,
everything.
that's what I guess
I
you
was
have to do
hearing
that.
it too. Yeah.
You guys have to do that.
Okay. Anyway, what I was saying before Gary interrupted us, but for good reason, was that before the show you said you're cool with talking about anything, and so I am going to ask you a few relationship questions.
Sure.
Which is, so you met your husband through a friend.
Yes, originally. Like
Okay.
we had a long distance relationship. We were talking on the phone a lot. We both worked for Nickelodeon. I was living in New York. He was in LA.
How did you know he was the one? for you?
You know, I think fate had tried to bring us together too many times for him not to be the one. Like, it turns out I had done a phone interview with him back when I was like, I think I was an intern at a teen magazine before I had my regular job, and he was on a TV show. And then I ran into him another place, like, and then we both worked at Nickelodeon, and then I had emailed him about something else. Like, it was just too many things putting us together.
And what had been your dating history before him?
Always long-term relationships, 2 years or 3 or 4 years at a time, and never found the right one.
And how long have you been married now?
10 years.
10 years. Any kids?
No kids. Just the bunnies and the cat. That's it. He's my kid. He is. Men are babies.
Well, I have to say, iCarly is very groundbreaking.
It is. I agree with you. No, he's like a genius. I have to say. He really is.
So, and you guys both obviously have this great understanding of web and all that stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and I credit him with, if it were not for him, I would never have even thought about launching Hungry Girl. Because I saw how into his work he was and how, like, he was working around the clock 7 days a week. And I'm like, I wanted to do that, and I want to have something that I love in the same way.
Right. Yeah, they say that you should have a passion for what you do, and that the way you know if you're doing the right thing is that when you're really in the flow of it, you don't even feel time passing.
Yeah,
which
I
I think
with that.
is a great goal. I don't know if that's possible all the time, but
no, everything is work, and no matter where you're working, there's going to be someone or something that is a thorn in your side, no matter what.
Yes, Gary.
That will never change. In this case, Gary. Gary's lovely.
Gary is lovely. I've been getting a lot of emails about Gary and a lot of comments and tweets and things about Gary. People are enjoying Gary on this show.
Suckers.
So something that I wanted to do earlier, which I think we should do now, is, and I talked about this on the last show, there's a song, so the guy who writes the music for my show, Tom Rapp, wrote a song about my friend Corinne, who used to do a segment on my show when it was a Ustream show when I was living in New York. And I love the Corinne song, and I like to try to put other guests' names into the song, especially if their name seems like it could go or fit. And I think that if we all say Lila Lillien really fast, it'll sound like Corinne. We're going to have to say it very fast. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to play the song, and we're going to all try to sing your name where it says Corinne. And there's 2 times when it says it. And since you guys don't know the song, it might be a little difficult. So then we'll just have to do it again. And I want everyone at home to do this as well. And you might feel stupid, but you'll be smiling. So let's all do it.
This better be a good song.
Oh, I think it is.
Good.
It's
I'm
a fun,
excited.
good song.
Comes in, the hips will turn and the jaws all drop when you see that girl.
You can throw an extra one in.
Palms get sweaty and your eyes will
Okay, it's about to come up. Oh, damn it. I missed it.
You better
Miss
take a
Lillien.
deep breath,
Ah.
'cause your heart might stop.
This is like, that experience is like double dutch jump rope, or sometimes me trying to get on an escalator. I'm like, oh, next one.
Do you have trouble with escalators?
Yeah. Not as much as when I was younger, I really did. Now it's like I let one step go by, and then I'm just boom. Just face my fear, work through it.
Do you prefer elevators?
Yeah. Well, not all the time. This is when I have troubles with escalators, is if there's a lot of stuff in my hands, or like if I'm in an
Oh, when you
airport and I'm
can't
dragging
hold-
luggage. Yeah, and then I just feel like I'm going to get sucked into those little grooves.
Yeah, I saw like a crazy escalator accident where there were
Oh
like
my God,
100
this
injuries.
is not good for me to hear.
I'm sorry, I won't tell you about all the
Tell me,
deaths.
I have to know. There was a...
Mangled. Deaths. I'm not even kidding.
Are you
It was
serious?
on one of those shows like I Shouldn't Be Alive or I Survived. Did you see that, Gary?
I know what you're talking
It
about.
was
that
like
episode.
an escalator where I was like, how the hell can like 40 people have died on an escalator? I'm never
40-person pileup.
I am never going to Nordstrom's again.
How did it happen?
I don't know. It was like maybe a sporting event or something. It was somewhere where it was like a really huge escalator with like hundreds of people on it.
Oh. Well, you'll know what I'm talking about when I say I don't particularly enjoy in certain subway stations in New York, the escalator is like a tube and the ceiling is kind of parallel with the escalator. So as you go up, it goes up too. And the whole thing is sort of, I don't have claustrophobia, but the whole thing makes me feel disoriented. I would
I don't know
rather
if I
be in
know
a big, like an open place where as you're going up, it's just a regular ceiling. It just feels like you're like in a tube that's
Yeah,
going
no,
up.
I'm a little claustrophobic.
You are. Okay.
Slightly.
But you can do escalators?
Yeah.
Do you have any sort of neurosis that we should know about?
No, not really.
Actually, this is a perfect. This would. Damn it, Gary! Why can't you be two people? This would have been a perfect segue into just me or everyone. But there's something going on. Oh, with the air. I think the air just came on. Okay, so Gary has to turn that off.
No, aren't we at the ocean? This is our we're outside on a boat.
It does feel. It is refreshingly breezy sounding.
The hair whipping through the breeze
Oh,
whipping through my hair.
Now you're a fan of Brazilian straightening, yes?
I am. Yes. Wow,
Okay.
you really do your homework.
Thank you.
How do you know that?
No, I just say that to everyone, and I hope I'm gonna I'm
Damn.
gonna nail
I
one.
thought you Googled me and
I
found
did.
some weird article about my hair.
I read. I think there was a New York Times story about you, and I think it mentioned that.
I think you're right.
I'm a fan of the Japanese. I'm a fan of hair straightening.
Right.
I'm a fan of the Japanese straightening more for me.
I did the Japanese for 9 years
You did. Now, why did you switch?
because my hair person told me to, but then I switched away. Like I did Brazilian 2 or 3 times, and then I just did something called Zerin Realis.
Oh my God, a whole new thing. I don't know what this is.
It's organic, vegan. You know, everyone's saying it's all chemical.
Right.
It's like vegan, organic, blah, 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 which is not my thing anyway, in any way. But I do find that it works because I don't like how flat my hair gets from the Brazilian.
yes.
This is less flat. You should try it.
Okay. Yeah, I know. See, the few times that I did Brazilian, I would look at pictures, and I'm willing to say that in photos I was like, yeah, my hair looks better. But it's in person, when I would look in the mirror, I felt like it looked greasy, and it just
Too flat?
no. I like it straighter even than the Brazilian was getting it.
Oh.
But
So
I
you
think
do
I
the-
like no. See, here's the thing. I have all sorts of issues, and I think that I like my hair flatter. I like my hair really flat, and yet I'm aware that it looks better if it has more body.
Yeah, I don't like my hair when it's really flat. It bothers me. I used to do you do the Yuko? I did Licio,
Yes.
which was Japanese.
yeah, no, I do Yuko.
Yuko. Well, your hair looks good.
Thank you. It's flat though. I mean, let's
It
call
looks
it what
good.
it is.
When my hair is like flat against my head, I personally don't like it. But at the same time, it's easier when it's just you go like that and it dries and it's straight.
Right. What's your natural hair like?
Very curly,
like
wavy, curly, frizzy.
kinky or ringlety or
Very wavy, and then in
Okay.
New York it would frizz
Right.
like beyond belief.
fuzzy. I have the fuzzy hair syndrome situation.
It would ruin my day.
yes.
I wouldn't want
In
to go out.
high school, I would want to stay home if it was raining.
I would. If we went out, like on a Friday night, if we were going out like to a bar and it was raining or humid and my hair was frizzy, I would just like sit in the back and not talk to anyone.
Yes.
You too?
I know. Yeah, if I feel like I don't look good that day,
Gary, you too?
I've had to fight this. But if I feel like I don't look good that day, it makes me very unfriendly. And it's
Me
not
too.
because I'm trying to be a bitch. It's because I'm like, I don't feel confident enough to really engage and talk to people, which is just a bad way to be, because then, especially if you work in entertainment, then people are like, oh, she's a snob, or she's full of herself, or she's just, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I try to tell myself it's always better to be friendly. Even if
Right.
you have a big zit on your neck, which I say
Which I do, by the way.
You do?
Currently. Yeah.
I do. I've never had neck zits or whatever. I tweeted recently, bite, hive, or zit, a new game I'm playing on my face. Like, I've got these 2 dots on my neck. I don't know what the hell. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're zits, because what else could they be? Except I was like, maybe it's chickenpox, because I never had chickenpox, but I got the vaccine.
Yeah, no,
I
I'm
don't
sure it's
know.
not chickenpox.
Yeah, I would probably be feeling sick.
That's really funny.
But
no, I mean,
anyway.
I know what you mean about if you don't feel great, you're not like putting yourself out there and being
Right.
super friendly. But my mother and my mother-in-law would tell you, you should always look your best because you never know who you're going to meet and where you're going to meet them. That's what my
That's
mom
great
used
advice,
to tell me.
but a real pain in the butt.
I know. No, I know because I'm more like I'm throwing on a baseball hat and wearing
Yeah.
a t-shirt and sweatpants.
See, I used to always like do myself up for this show because we would stream it live on Ustream, and then with the whole change of studios and stuff, we weren't doing that. And then I realized, God, I'm so much more comfortable. I went through like a very brief sweatpant phase. Most people don't dress up for a podcast, and I was like, I'm going to be like most people, and it was definitely more comfortable. But then certain guests would come in, and I wouldn't be all effusive and charming because I was like,
Because you were in
don't look at me.
sweatpants?
Yeah.
Don't look
Don't look at me. I'm wearing pajamas. I don't know. Okay, so in your daily life, though, if you're just going around to doing errands, do you put on makeup?
I put on some makeup, but I never wear a lot of makeup unless I have a makeup person that goes with me
Right.
for like events and things. But I don't ever really leave the house with no makeup. I'll at least do a little eyeliner and lip gloss.
Do you have a makeup person and a stylist for your show?
Don't have a stylist. Definitely have hair and makeup people. Yeah. Never had a style. I once tried to work with a stylist, and I was like, oh, God.
How does that go? Because in the back of my head, if I ever have a ton of money, I'm getting a stylist and I'm getting a driver because dressing myself
driver,
and driving
definitely.
is just a pain in the butt.
Driver, fantastic. I think a stylist is great. Sometimes I will enlist the help of one of the stylists that runs wardrobe for my husband's shows. She's amazing. But when I hired a stylist to help me, I felt like he just didn't get my style, or he brought all the stuff that was so not me.
Right.
And then I ended up picking out the stuff myself. I mean, he had a few things that worked, and he was great. But I just feel like I'm too much of a control freak, and I'm such a shopper. I can't stop shopping, and I love buying clothing, and I know what I like.
Okay.
So-
Are you a micromanager?
Yes. I mean, yes, and to some degree, but not. I don't think it's in a bad way.
Right. I mean, I think you have to be. If it's your own business, you kind of have to be.
Yeah, I don't know. It's such a negative term, and I don't want to say I'm a control freak because I'm more of a control freak just in general with everything. But I'm very involved in everything relating to my business, and I manage my manager, and I manage. It's just you have to be.
Do
Nothing wrong with
you check your email while you're in bed?
Yes, I check my email.
Everyone does, right?
I
That's
check
normal.
my email at least 19 hours a day.
Do you check your email while you're driving?
No, unless I'm at a red light.
Okay. That's smart.
Not while the vehicle is moving.
Do
you?
I revealed that I've discovered that texting and
Yes.
driving. Yeah, I do.
Yes, is the answer.
The answer is
no.
yes. Yeah, and I've gotten a lot of feedback on that, and people are none too happy.
Good.
Not only am I taking my own life,
But
and
ours.
putting my own life in danger, but what about the person I'm going to hit or the car I'm going to crash into? Which is a good point.
Right. It's not that, and by the way, it's not that you're not like a great driver and you couldn't.
Oh, but the funny
master
thing
it.
is, I'm not.
Oh, okay. Well, there you
I'm
go.
good at. I'm a great texter.
But you have to, like, I don't know. You
I
just have
know.
to. There's going to be some other jerk next to you doing.
know.
What if the guy next to you is texting too?
I know. It's so true. And the thing is that it's totally fine until it's not fine, and then it's catastrophic. You guys have really made me think about my actions.
Good. Well, then our work here is done.
Let's do just mirror everyone. And so this, let me explain what this is. Oh my God.
There it is. I heard that.
This is like a smoke alarm where you
That's not
undo,
me.
I'm gonna lose my
take
shit.
the
What
battery
is
out.
this?
It's like where you take the battery out of a smoke alarm and then it still makes noise.
All right. Well, now it's just part of the show. Every time you hear that, you have to drink.
You win something.
Like I don't
Is
know
there
what's.
something,
A date with Allison.
Is there something beeping in this bag of cool things?
I don't think
It's-
so. The
it's
pistachio
either-
nuts.
It's the albacore white tuna. It's the
This bag of cool
pistachios.
things as she pulls out
It's the chili lime jerky.
That's good. Gary will like that. Boys love jerky.
Yeah,
Do you have a favorite kind of jerky?
I don't.
Really?
Jerky's jerky. It's not something I eat often. If I come across some and it's fine.
You're shitting on our point.
Yeah, I am.
Which is something I have to say, until I
another-
worked with Adam Carolla, I never even thought about when people shit on your point. It just seemed like that's conversation.
I totally agree, but
Okay. He's
Yeah,
got
I
a big issue with, like, if he's trying to establish a concept or get a certain thing going, and if you know what? That's over-explaining. If you disagree with him, then he feels that you're shitting on his point.
Well, maybe you're just disagreeing with him.
no, but it's
That's my
it's not-
point.
It's if he's asking a question and he's like, and
Yeah.
like his
You
his
kind of
thing-
have to roll
Oh,
with
you
it.
have to just say, yeah. Well,
His
Like-
thing is, if somebody brings up like Burning Man, for example, and he's like, Burning Man, like, nope, never heard of it. Like,
He's like, you're not helping at all. Yeah. Like, okay, well, so I made the mistake of saying, he was talking about plantains. And he was like, the thing with plantains is you either love them or you hate them. And then he went around the room and he wanted to know who loved them and who hated them. And I actually am sort of, I could take them or leave them. But I never should have admitted that. I'm surprised I still have a job.
that's because I don't know that those are as polarizing as he thinks they are.
I know.
He's wrong. Cilantro, on the other hand.
Oh my God, that is
totally
very-
polarizing. We got to get him in here get him on the phone. And
I
tell
know.
him.
I don't know how he feels about cilantro.
Well, it's you either love it or hate it. I don't know anyone who's indifferent about it. I don't think.
I hate it.
I love it.
Really. Have you always loved it?
No. I haven't.
Yeah.
I didn't really know what it was.
I feel
many
like
years.
as I've gotten older, I can tolerate it a little more.
You
but
guys want
I'm
an example of shitting on your point? Indifferent.
really
Towards cilantro?
Yeah.
He's lying.
now I can see why it's so annoying.
When did he start the lying? When did that happen?
That's like this show, pretty much.
I think I started working here 2 years and 3 weeks ago.
See, he doesn't even know when he's lying. Gary, what happened? You used to be so nice. All right.
So
Just
what is
Me or
Just Me or
Everyone is a segment we do where people tell us things they do or they think where they think, is it just me or everyone? And so we have a bunch that they tweeted us. They're mostly food and diet related because of you.
Excellent.
And we're going to say whether, we're just going to talk about each one. And we have a song.
Sometimes I ponder on something I have thought or done. Is it just me or everyone?
Okay. Hot Nicks 1 says, when I would eat something with two parts, cereal and marshmallows, spaghetti and meatballs, I'd eat my favorite part last. Just me or everyone?
I would do that too.
Yeah, I do that too.
Not you. Not just you.
But then I think, if I'm going to segregate the food, why even mess with the part I don't really want?
Because it's still good. Like
Yeah.
Lucky Charms, you
Yeah.
still like the cereal part.
That's true.
It's just not as good as like the purple horseshoes.
Right.
Right?
It's true. It's true.
Yeah, I agree. The spaghetti and meatballs one seems weird to me, but like I'll definitely do that with like my favorite flavor in a box of candy or something like that. But at a sit down meal to like divide, that seems a little.
No, I don't. I'm not a section eater. I don't believe in that. It bothers me a little bit when people eat food in sections because I feel like you eat too much.
Yeah.
Like if you're eating like steak and potatoes and Brussels sprouts and whatever, don't eat each portion separately.
Right. Oh,
Then
yeah.
you finish everything.
Yeah. And also
People do
because
that.
then you're liable to eat like a big piece of steak and a big thing of Brussels sprouts
Exactly.
and a big amount of potatoes.
Just have
Oh,
a
that's
little of this and a
interesting.
little of that, and leave some of it over.
Now, are you someone who believes in being fairly regimented with where and when you eat?
No,
No? Okay.
I if I'm eating in the same place, it's because it's my favorite restaurant. But it's not like I
No,
must eat at 6:00.
No, I mean like only ever eating, sitting down at a table versus
No.
like, okay.
I
Because I feel like
stand,
every
I do
single
all the
person
wrong
who lives
things.
in New York just eats in front of the TV on the couch.
Yes.
Okay. Matt at Doyle says, breakfast burritos are nutritious as long as I can't see what's inside. I actually don't do that. I know too much, unfortunately.
I'm with you.
I don't know anything. That's just him because
It is just him.
The idea of a breakfast burrito and everywhere I can think of that it comes from just informs me inherently that it's not a good thing. It's like
Yeah.
a truck
Yeah.
or like a bagel shop or like a
Well, diners.
drive-through.
Well, even a diner, yeah.
diner, like you're not getting something that's that good for you.
You can
there.
also see what's inside when you bite into it, unless he inhales it all at once. I mean, once you take your first bite,
Right?
there it is.
Unless you deep throat your
It's just
breakfast
him.
burrito. Okay, Too Rude, 89. We'll circle the gym parking lot 5 times to avoid adding to the walk to the treadmill. That's funny. I feel like it's just habit to look for a good parking space.
And that was very much my life in New York, but not here. I'll park for it really far away.
On purpose or just because?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
I always think to myself, it'd be good to make myself park far away because then that's extra exercise.
It is. Yes. I
Are
agree
you
with that.
taking the stairs, not the elevator person?
No. I love elevators when
Yeah,
they're
me
there.
too.
I mean, I don't know. I don't like to be trapped in an elevator. I always think about who I'd want to be stuck in an elevator with, or whenever I'm in the elevator, I always think, what if we get stuck in here and this
Yes.
person smells? I mean, like all of those things. But still, I don't really love the stairs.
Well, this
Right.
goes back to something from earlier I thought about asking. Does your fear of escalators force you up a set of stairs if they're side by side?
No.
Oh.
That's where the fear crumbles. Suddenly I'm
Exercise.
able to get on. Yeah.
Not expending any energy.
She's
Exactly.
more afraid of exercise than she is of escalators.
Thank you.
I like it.
Yep. Okay. David's on Darcy. Destroying, defiling leftover sweets before putting them in the trash so I can't salvage later. Yes, I have. I put dish soap on food.
I do all kinds of things to food so I won't eat it.
What do you do?
I get rid of it. I smash it. I put pepper on it.
Pepper,
Like I
yeah.
did that in college. I used to pepper it. But I hate to admit this, but it's so many years later. When I was even a child, like 12 years old, I would be shopping in the supermarket with my mom. And if I was like on a diet, I would smash Twinkies. I would. I would go right into Waldbaum's in New York
Other
and smash.
people. So you'd smash other people's
I would
food.
smash unpurchased Twinkies. I did this like 3 times as a child. I feel guilty about it to this day. I should send a check to Hostess to make up for the Twinkies I murdered.
But this is so you couldn't have them, or just because you were angry?
I
at
think
them?
I was angry that I wasn't able to eat them. I was like,
Yeah.
on diet. I didn't like destroy my friends' food.
Right.
I just remember a couple of times where I was like,
And see,
plus it's fun to smush a Twinkie.
yeah, but see where I'm sitting, I'm like, man, someone could still eat it, really.
True.
See,
That's
you
true.
didn't go far enough.
You're right.
Okay.
I didn't get my fingerprints on it. Nothing.
Okay. Oh, here's someone. Well, Andrew 280. This is sort of similar to the two Hot Nicks, but avoid the marshmallows and Lucky Charms and save them until the end until you flipped the marshmallow
Oh my
ratio.
God, those two should like marry each other.
They should.
It's the same thing.
And just eat breakfast cereal together. Okay. Eat one item at a time during a meal and not begin the next item until the first was finished. We were just talking about that. Okay. Paul Thompson, or Tomso. When I grind fresh coffee beans, it smells like salmon to me. I have to say that's just you.
Just him.
Definitely just him.
See a neurologist. Okay. Tony DeCoste. I can't
Fast.
I can't believe there is a device dedicated to only cooking rice. I understand toasters, but waffle makers? Gary and I discussed this tweet earlier. We found it a little baffling because...
Wouldn't it make more sense if at the very end it was like, I understand toasters, but rice makers?
Right. But
And then I
waffle
said maybe
makers,
he's
you're right.
making rice in a weird way with his waffle maker.
I'm not a fan of unitaskers though.
Because of clutter? Or just...
clutter, and I just think there's always something else that can do what this thing does. Like we got this machine.
Is unitasker a thing? Because
Yes.
it just took me a second to figure out what that meant.
Yes,
Is
yes.
that-
If you
is that
start
a
looking
phrase?
at clutter and productivity blogs, you'll see...
First time I heard it was Alton Brown.
unitaskers.
Alton Brown on
Okay.
yeah, Good Eats.
Yeah.
But no, we got this giant contraption someone sent us. They're like, "Congratulations, hungry girl. Here's your Actifry." And it was this like 30-pound machine, and all it did was like bake fries. And I'm like, okay, why not cut a potato and
sounds
stick them on a
awesome.
cookie sheet? No, I know. I mean,
kidding, I'm
someone's gonna but someone's gonna hear this and be like, I don't understand. But it was so big, we couldn't even give it to the intern. Nobody wanted the Actifry. I'm sorry to say.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like, and it's like a $400 or $350 device that just does one thing.
Let's discuss the toaster oven.
It's the greatest
Greatest thing ever.
ever.
Okay, this is coming from someone who did not grow up with toaster ovens. We grew up with just a toaster
What
and
happened?
an oven. I don't know. It's child abuse.
You
maybe.
were abused.
I had a toaster. Maybe it's Orange County.
I had never
Gary's
seen a
from Orange
toaster
County,
oven
too.
until I got to college.
What?
and
my
it, like,
best friend,
revolutionized my world.
best friend had a toaster oven, and then when I was in New York, I This sounds sad, but I inherited a toaster oven.
Like my great uncle died.
Yeah, exactly.
And left
and
me
it was
his
a really
toaster
nice
oven.
one, and I used it once. And then when I was moving back, there's a lot of things I lament because I enjoy that activity. But one of the things I lament is that when I was moving from New York to California, I got rid of so much stuff because I just was in a rush and I was just sort of not enjoying the process of moving. And there's so much stuff I got rid of that I had to replace out here. And I don't know what made me think, oh, these like trivets or whatever, I'm not going to ever use them. Or I didn't think I'm not going to ever use them. I didn't really think, am I going to use this? But anyway, the point I'm wasting so much time belaboring is I just gave the toaster oven away. And now I kind of wish I had it. But what
They're
kind
like
of toaster...
$20, aren't they?
Yeah, see, I was about to make a joke earlier about you inheriting, and like, what, the homeless person found a slightly nicer one? Like, they're really cheap now. They're
Oh, really?
I asked for one for Christmas.
This one was like a
Oh, I mean,
a
you can get
high-end
ones.
one.
You can
Okay.
get a few $100.
I asked for one for
just looked
Christmas
really
like
good.
2 years ago, and 3 people in my family came up to me separately and asked if I was serious or kidding, but I was serious. And the one I got was like Cuisinart branded or whatever, and on the box it shows a full-size turkey in it. It's like enormous, and it was definitely under $100. It was very
Well,
reasonable.
see,
You
I
don't
didn't
have one
know.
now?
I don't have one.
How do you make your items that need to be toasted or heated? You just use the regular oven?
I use the microwave
Oh, no.
or an oven.
See, the
Oh my
microwave...
God, your eyes just got so big.
No.
That's not okay.
You can't reheat things that are meant to have like, if you have anything that has bread involved.
I say I rarely do, but
yeah, you can't use a microwave for that. But microwaves are great for like reheating just
Right.
food. That
well, okay. Aside from toasting something, my question is what what does a toaster oven do that an oven can't do?
It's just easier than the oven.
Okay.
And I think it's faster.
It's just
And
faster.
it's cuter.
It's cuter.
I would
For
reverse
sure.
the question. You know, it's how many things can an oven do that my toaster oven can't, and it's just faster and cleaner and easier.
Shrinky dinks.
Yeah, no, I mean there are definitely things, but it's like the number of
You
things
can put
that I
shrinky dinks in
can't.
a toaster oven.
I know. I was
That's
just
true.
trying to- I
done it.
recently put hard-boiled eggs in the oven because I read on something that it makes like creamier hard-boiled eggs, but instead just the shells got burned, and I thought I could just boil these from now on. But I suppose like a normal
I've never
person,
tried that.
it doesn't do. I didn't find that it did anything great.
I did try those eggies because I can't help but buy everything I see on TV.
You do? Okay. I've never bought anything I've seen on TV. Although
I buy everything
I
I
was
see on
obsessed.
TV.
I used to watch that
Not the
Nad.
pajama jeans. I won't buy the pajama jeans.
I feel like, why do we all hate on pajama jeans? I've never bought them or
'Cause
worn
they're
them.
hideous.
But they look comfortable.
All right, I'm sorry.
Stylish sweatpants, go
wait,
on.
I'm going to say one thing.
Okay.
The hot 104-pound person on television
I know, would look
looks
good in
cute.
any-
No,
oh.
she looks terrible in them. They don't look good on anyone. But
Okay.
those eggies don't work.
What are they? Those eggies are it's like a cup you put in the microwave.
It's like a
or
little
something?
boat that you put the egg in, and then
Uh-huh.
you screw the top on, and then it floats around the water, and it
Oh.
boils. It's the worst thing ever. It does not work.
What is that? What
You
is
bought
going
that.
on?
You bought
Is
that
a
on TV.
It's not a Snuggie. It's a onesie.
It's a Forever Lazy.
We're looking at a photo of Gary
In
in a Forever Lazy.
I just
You look
figured as long as we were going to tell embarrassing things
right.
that we've
That's
bought.
so
you bought on
creepy.
TV.
I didn't buy that. It was a Christmas gift, and the reason I look like I'm not posting this on the website, so sorry everybody. But
Oh, come on.
try to become
I'll
Facebook
do it.
friends with me or something. But the reason I look like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man is because I have a full set of clothes on underneath that. I just threw it on for the day. But yeah, Forever Lazy, ridiculous.
So you don't ever find yourself wearing it?
And Lisa's definitely taking a picture.
I want to take a
right
photo
now.
of it.
It looks
my
like something
God.
where if you walk around, you create too much static electricity.
Yeah, I've never put it back on. It's funny, but
Right.
I think
Why?
that
It's
color looks
amusing.
good on you, though. Cobalt.
thanks. It goes with my eyes.
It's. You should consider wearing that exclusively.
Get a room, you guys. Okay. Let's see. If there's a straw laying in the straw dispenser, I can't take it. This is Susan L10. I have to pump out a new one.
Oh, I do that.
You do that too?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that with spoons and forks and things like that where you pump those too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do that. It's not just you, Susan.
And we had someone write in and say that they do that with magazines and books too.
I do that, but that's usually because the cover is folded or something.
Right. Oh my God, there was that sound again that we hate. Okay. Let's move on. But this was move on to no more just me or everyone is when Gary looks flummoxed.
The last 5 episodes, we haven't played the song to go out. Is that what you're
No,
asking for?
no, I'm saying take it off the screen so I can see the clock.
Sorry.
That's okay. Oh my God, that was like a different. There was a different quality to that sound. It's getting more
Yeah,
insistent.
that was weird. Maybe there's a ghost here with an invisible laptop.
That one was in my room, and my mic was
Oh.
open. But
Okay. To all the people who who are going to need to complain about the fact that we're talking about the noise, just don't do it. Just shut it. Oh no, I don't know what Gary's saying to me. What?
there's actually a new email address.
Oh yeah. Well, I
you're-
was yes, that's perfect because I was going to announce that when I read a few emails that people have sent in, but I'll go ahead and announce it right now, you guys. Good news. We have a brand new email address set up exclusively for this show. Get your pens or pencils ready. It's ARIYNBF, which is Alison Rosen's your best friend, ARIYNBF at adamcarolla.com. ARIYNBF at adamcarolla.com. Gary will be looking at your emails, so, and then he'll send stuff to me. Maybe I shouldn't have given that level of detail.
No, I just thought that was really funny. It's like, send the hate mail to Gary.
That's right. I'm tired of it. But
Do you share everything?
well, now we will.
It's brand new, but yeah, I'm planning to do a high level of sharing. You know,
Oh yeah, I see you're at, yes. The question is, what exactly will you be showing me? Will you be showing me the negative emails? We can figure that out as we go along. But some emails came to me, and I just wanted to share a couple of them. Dear Allison, love the new show and loving your choice of guests. I wanted to send you a quick note to suggest something about how you were trying to find a nickname for Gary. I think when you want to talk to Gary, you should play a drop of Amber from Teen Mom saying Gary. I don't watch Teen Mom, so I don't know what that sounds like. She would whine his name, and I thought it was funny. Not sure how the podcast setup is and if you have the control to do that, but I wanted to give my suggestion. I look forward to future awesome guests. That means you. Thanks. Her name is Stacy. P.S. Love that you say cunt. Us girls have to take the word back. Does anyone know what the Teen Mom drop she's referring to is?
I don't, but I'm actively looking for it.
I thought you were
to
looking
see if
for
I
it.
can play it.
I think it's a good idea. I can imagine what it is. And I think it probably is funny.
It probably is
The
funny.
whiny Gary from TV and pop culture history, and why not?
We're constantly looking for a nickname for Gary because producer Gary, I feel like, is not exciting enough. So
You can also take Gary the snail from SpongeBob SquarePants.
a lot of Garys in pop culture.
Lots.
That's a good one. And Bald Brian likes to use the Dr. Drew Gary Busey drop on me.
Right.
There you go.
Which is, we suspect that Gary's head injury is affecting his behavior. Okay, here's one from Eric. It also is Gary related. Allison, or whoever is reading this, firstly, love the show. I love the mix of comedy, relationship talk, and insightful conversation about life in general, even though I may not be in the target demo, parentheses, a 26-year-old married male engineer. I don't know what my target demo is, so you could be it. Keep up the good work. Secondly, I had a good nickname for producer Gary, and it may have been brought up before. I think you should try Gare Bear. Yes, Ricky Lindholm suggested that, but it's a good one. Even if you don't fully adopt it, I'd at least like to hear Allison say it a couple times. Anyways, keep up the good work. Eric, for you, I'm going to say Gare Bear, Gare Bear, Gare Bear, Gare Bear, Gare Bear, Gare Bear, Gare Bear. You can't say it in a row a lot quickly.
No,
Gare Bear.
it gets hard to say in a row, but I do react to it just as well as my own name.
He likes it.
I'm sorry, Gare Bear.
It's okay. It's all good.
Okay, and then iTunes comment of the week. We have a song that a listener sent in. His name is Ross Bergman, and here's his song. I can't wait for it.
Alison Rosen brings you the best iTunes comments of the week.
Thanks, Ross. All right, this is from Itchy D. Allison has an endearing awkwardness like a baby duck. And I'll explain why I love that in a second. That doesn't mean the show is bad. In fact, she asks some very compelling questions of her guests. I'm always expecting the softball because she seems like such a cream puff, but then bam, in your face with the probing brain dissection. Keep it up, Allison. And I also wanted to give a shout out to Liz in Virginia and Northern Exp, which I think is Northern Exposure, for their great comments. There were so many good comments, and there are so many good comments but I can't read them all, and I can't shout out to them all. But just keep commenting, and then as the episodes go by, I will be able to maybe read yours or shout out to you. Anyway, I love ducklings, so I thought that was a cute way of describing me.
That is nice. We had 2 ducks on a date in our backyard last
You
week.
did? What, were they mallards or white ducks?
Mallards.
Uh-huh.
And
Oh, that's so cute.
They were beautiful. And on a date, they would swim and then get out of the pool
Aw.
and hang out. And we fed them matzah.
Uh-huh.
And then they went back in the pool.
Seasonally
And
appropriate.
it
That's
was
so
the
cute.
cutest. It's apparently mating season.
Mm-hmm.
And then the lights came on, like they automatically go on at 7, and then they flipped out and just flew
They
away.
wanted privacy.
But they came back, I think, like one other time. It was so cute.
I wish I lived in a place where ducks would pay a visit to me.
Where do you live? Ducks are everywhere.
Hollywood.
There are ducks in Hollywood.
I've never seen.
You don't think ducks are trying to break into show business?
I mean, I'm sure they do come here with all the belongings on their back in a tiny little knapsack and dreams of making it big, and then the next minute they're just
In a pool
turning
in
tricks.
Encino.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's so cute. Okay, and we do also have a new topic sombrero song. So let's play the song because Trap Talk sent this in at our request, and it's awesome. And then maybe we'll take one question from the topic sombrero, and then we'll just get the hell on out of here.
It's the topic sombrero. We asked for topics and you sent them in. It's the topic sombrero. Now pick a topic and let's begin. It's the topic.
That song,
Totally original.
yeah. Well, the Copacabana has been stuck in my head nonstop for like 2 weeks, and it's driving me insane.
Me too, and I'm so simultaneously ashamed of myself and proud of myself for
These
coming
are
up
these
with
are
that
Gare
awful,
Bears
Oh, that was
lyrics
you?
awful
and this
song.
idea. Yeah,
I kind of liked it.
you know, it's good. It's
I
catchy.
love it.
I know.
It was
Okay.
just-
Would you like to choose a topic from the sombrero?
Okay.
Yeah,
I know I'm gonna choose something horrible.
something. Yeah, and well, then we just throw it back,
Okay.
or maybe not even back in the
Here it
sombrero.
is.
Okay.
One night stands.
Okay. Well, let's see.
Wanna
What
see
do we? Sure. That's exactly what
I'm
it
not
says.
lying.
Let's see. What do we have to say about one night stands? Well, this is my take on it. I think that a lot of women think that they can have casual sex and that it won't affect them, and it actually, at a certain point, it almost seems like a goal. But the truth is that it is really hard to, at least for me and for the women I know, really hard to separate sex from emotion. And so you can go into the experience thinking that you don't, this is, well, if, let's say you're someone like me in the past, I'd be thinking, okay, I don't even like, this is not the kind of person I would want to be in a relationship with. I don't like him like that. But, you know, I'm attracted to him, and so I'm just going to have fun. And then I'd wake up with feelings for him, or if they didn't set in right away, by the following night, I'd be thinking, oh, I would like to see him again. And then all of a sudden I'd be feeling vulnerable, and I sort of just emotionally attached myself to someone that I didn't think was the right kind of person to even have a relationship with, and I would find myself wanting a relationship with that person. So for me, one night stands never were a great idea. And in general, I don't think they're a great idea, because whatever you're trying to do in that one night, why not let it develop over, over the course of dating? Except that you're listening to this and you're probably thinking, but I don't want to date that person. And then I just want to, hit it and quit it. And my response to you is then, well, if you don't even want to date that person, why would you want to sleep with them? Unless you're a guy, in which case everything's different. Lisa?
Wow, that was a mouthful.
I had a lot to say
I
on that topic.
actually agree with everything you said, truly. And I do think that women have a hard time separating emotion from sex. So as much as they say, oh, it's totally cool,
Right.
I don't think that they can.
Yeah, and
So
I think
I don't believe in them.
And when I grew up, it was sort of on the tail end of, unless the idea is still out there, but I think less so, the tail end of this idea that, well, women can and should be able to ask guys out, and they can do anything a guy can do, even sexually. And
It's
I
just
just
we're
think it
wired
doesn't.
differently.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I've never had a one night stand. Never in my life.
That's
And
smart. Now, how come?
it would never be.
Just not something you would do.
Well, I mean, I've met people, and I guess back in the day, I've met strangers and kissed them, but that was it. I've never hey, I'm meeting you, going back to your place, we're having
Right.
sex, and I'm never going to see you again. That's never happened to me. It's just not who I am.
Well, even just making out for me would then sort of bond me to them. Not 100% of the time, but often. To be fair to me, I only had one true one night stand that I would call a one night stand, in that I met someone at a party and did go home with him, and it was New York, and it was the kind of thing where the next day I thought, I'm so lucky that I'm alive. That was the dumbest thing for me to do. I don't know this person. I cannot believe I went home with him, but I was dumb then, or more risk taking then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
The wild you.
Yeah.
The wild Allison.
there's wild.
I think the problem is mostly, though, that they can't separate emotion, and so they end up getting attached. And if you do like the person, then why are you even
Right.
sleeping with them on the first night?
Yeah. Now, see, there are couples that, or married couples even, where it turned out that they slept together on the first date. And I always feel like you're lucky that worked out, because there was a big chance that it wasn't going to.
Yeah, I agree.
And I feel like you stack the deck again. The deck gets stacked against the chances of a good relationship if you jump in too soon.
I definitely agree with that.
Gary, what do you think?
You guys gave good advice. I don't know. I'm not a one-night stand kind of guy. The problem I always tend to have is where there's a lack of clarity as to whether or not both parties necessarily think it's a one-night stand. So I've gotten into situations before where I was totally confident that both of us were clear that it was a one-night only thing, And like 4 weeks later, I'm like banging my head against a wall as text messages come in incessantly, and I'm trying to figure out what I did wrong.
You gave out your number.
Well,
That's what you did wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
See, but that's exactly what I'm saying. I feel like a girl can go into a one-night stand with even if you have clarity on that, but it just doesn't really take. I mean, I was that person in, a long time ago who was like, well, I know he's saying he doesn't want a relationship, but he's contacting me and he's this and in the way he talked to me, blah, blah, blah. And just like thinking, just sort of pushing aside what the guy said about what he wanted. Ugh.
How do you, I guess I wouldn't understand how you go into it assuming that both people know it's a one-night stand unless you discuss it.
We discussed it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And,
You were like,
and you know what?
we're never going to see each other
This
again.
might just be a default. Maybe not. We're not ever going to see each other again, but like this is an isolated incident, and like then we will go back to our knowing who each other are when we see each other around town type of thing. But this might just be a defect with me because I have friends who will do this, and then if the girl continues to try to contact them after, we'll just either completely ignore them or call them up and like have a talk with them again about how they're not ever going to respond to them, so fuck off. And I don't know.
What do you continue? You play like Words with Friends?
No.
You draw something.
No, I like do my best version
nice.
of this, but like the last time this happened, it ended up with me sitting in a bar with a girl crying while I explained to her that this was just not happening, and it just sucked for both of us.
Yeah, that's why I would advise guys not to have one-night stands either, because you're going to end up with girls chasing you or stalking you or something.
Right. Yeah, because see, even when you said that, I can imagine being that girl and feeling like, but you slept with me. We had sex. How could you not have feelings for me?
You know
That's
what?
the thing that
It
girls
came
can't
out of her
get
mouth.
through their
I know what
head.
happened.
That came out of her mouth too.
That
and I was
did?
like, yeah, but we talked about it beforehand, and she was like, yeah, but. And
Yeah,
I was
see,
like,
it's that but. It's
Yeah.
the female experience of it versus the guys.
Which
Gary,
I
right
got,
after
but-
you slept with her, did you put on that cobalt snuggie onesie hoodie? If so,
That's what you should do.
I totally get why she fell for you.
Oh, no, I was going the other way with it. I was saying that's what you should do to turn off the feelings.
All right, maybe you're right.
I don't know. Try it next time. Let us know how it goes.
I'll get back to you.
Well, thank you so much for stopping by
You're
and being on the
welcome.
show. This was very informative and it was delightful. And let's see. If people want to find out more about you, they can go to your website.
They can go to hungry-girl.com and sign up for the daily emails.
Does someone have the non-hyphen version?
They do, but they link to me, but it's still not a pretty page. So I
Okay.
send people to the page with the hyphen.
Right.
I'm on Facebook. It's facebook.com/hungrygirl.
And there's a whole
Hungry
Hungry Girl community that comments and things, right?
Yeah, they're very active.
Yeah,
and
that's
sometimes
awesome.
irate on Facebook.
Really?
Yeah, they get very emotional about
People
everything.
on the internet get very emotional.
It's like road rage.
Yeah.
It's like the anonymity. They don't. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's still fun. I love it. And Twitter too.
Yeah,
I'm just
we are
at
Hungry Girl on Twitter. Okay. And if they want to watch your show, where do they go?
On Cooking Channel on Saturdays and Food Network on Sundays. Early in the morning, there's that beep again. On both networks.
Okay.
Anyway.
And all your books are in
Amazon,
bookstores.
bookstores, Target, Walmart.
And if you're going to, I think they should buy them on Amazon. And if you're going to go to Amazon, click through my website. And then it does not cost you any more, but it sends the show a few dollars. And we could always use that to buy something to turn off that noise.
It's true.
Yeah,
I support
better
that.
producer.
It'll just be Gary, but he'll just work harder if
I
he has
like
a few
that
more
noise.
dollars. You do?
Maybe it's a new song.
Maybe
Is that one of your jingles?
Well, you know what? Because with the extra dollars, we can buy a smaller sombrero. Because this one's giant. Although I feel like a giant
Oh,
sombrero is
that's how they-
good.
That's how they are.
That's how they should be, right?
Standard.
The standard.
It's a standard sombrero.
You're right. You're probably
It's just
right.
the part for your head is head sized.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the hat's tremendous.
We need some. Maybe we need a topic fedora. Oh no, Trap Dog will be sad.
It doesn't work so well with Copacabana.
I know. What's a small What's
A
a small
beanie.
hat? Topic beanie.
You can
Nah.
Topic yarmulke.
Topic yarmulke. Oh, that's funny.
There you go.
That's funny. During Hanukkah, we should have a topic yarmulke.
There'll be
Ooh.
one topic.
I know. It'll be like,
Get your
Get filter
instruments out,
fish.
Tom Rath.
yeah, I know. Maybe you can hire a klezmer band. Okay, let's see. Are there any more things we need to mention for ways they can find you?
Nope, I think we covered them all.
All right. Well, then, for me and for this show, you can follow me on Twitter at Alison Rosen. You can follow the show on Twitter at ARIYNBF, and the show and I have Facebook pages. Those are easy to find. And please rate this show highly on iTunes if you enjoyed it, and if you didn't, rate it highly anyway, because what's it going to hurt you, you know? And leave comments too, because that is wonderful, and that keeps us high up on the charts, because there's an algorithm that no one understands, but it involves lots of comments and lots of stars. And please subscribe to the show if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to your friends, because just what a nice surprise for them. And you can send an email to the show, ARIYNBF, that's Alison Rosen, your new best friend, at adamcarolla.com, ARIYNBF at adamcarolla.com. Gary, is there anything I'm forgetting? I've given up. Given up on remembering stuff.
I don't think so.
Okay. Lisa, anything else you want to say?
No, but thank you for having me.
Thank you.
I feel like you are my new best friend.
Oh, good.
It worked.
It worked.
Success.
A testimonial. All right. Bye, you guys. Have a good week. See you next week. Bye.
Hey, do you know about the Alison Rosen show? We had a good time. Now we gotta go. Thank you for watching the Alison Rosen show. Alison Rosen is your new best friend. That's right. And those good times don't seem to end. That's right. Alison Rosen, best friend. Hey, do you know the Alison Rosen show? We had a good time. Now it's time to go. Hope to see you next time on the Alison Rosen show. Alison Rosen is your new best friend.
You're listening to the Ace Broadcasting Network.